channel.
You're live.
Hello folks, hello everyone, this is a jam-packed explosion tonight. As always, every single week we bring you everything from the MMO world, everything from news to the roundtable discussion, which will be all later on in the show. I know all of you out there love your MMOs like as much as we do. I know this person on tonight doesn't love it as much as us, but you know what? We're gonna introduce him to the MMO world. We will win him over, I think. And yeah, I am the Mosh. So I'm bringing you everything, all the goods of this show. And talking about the goods, first up, where can we be without the man, Nebraska Dave? Say hello to the audience.
Hello, everyone.
Awesome. And we're joined by the Adam.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And we're also joined tonight, if you look to your right hand side on your screen there, you can see Cosmic.
What's up?
And we got ourselves I would say he's probably a MMO virgin to this kind of things. You know, he's probably he's probably not so informative in the MMO world. But guess what? We thought we'd bring him on to the show tonight. Number one, because he had the video hosting, and number two, he's probably going to learn stuff from us as well. So I thought, let's bring this newbie in. Yep, so that's your guest lineup for tonight, guys. You know, you can see them all on your screen right now. Video shots. Dave looks trying to do the impression of Tron right there. Red Bull going off and Stewie.
Cylon from Full Festival.
So
Yeah.
crack 'em if you got 'em. That's sodas. That is.
Get the sodas open, but you know, I would so love it if it was a Friday. We'd be beer right now. So,
I would ship one to you. The fridge is full, but it'd be a bit of a distance.
Yeah, imagine it tastes a little flat.
it would
Go ahead and say,
to do Royal Mail.
I'm going to pass on that.
I won't send it via Royal Mail.
Could do parcel force.
Nah. I'll bow in the jet over to you.
Yeah. So that's your guest lineup tonight, guys. You know, we've got a newbie on the show, 3 people want to be on the show previously before, and let's kick this on, guys. So first and foremost, like you previously shows, is the news. First up is Aeon.
All right.
Are we losing? You still got to be here.
I'm here.
No, he's there.
Okay.
Yeah, just reading it. Lost my bearings here for a second, guys. It was yeah, so we got Aeon. I know 2 people been playing Aeon lately. Have you been playing anything?
You're talking about me and Cosmic. Yeah, I played a little bit earlier today and realized, I was like, wow, this game actually runs very fucking smooth on my system. But to be able to go back through in the very beginning areas, Cosmic would be able to tell you about that one. I didn't do the opening areas.
It's all right. It's pretty much still the same from what I've seen so far, from what I remember. So, but I mean, it's just nice that, you know, they kind of gave us time to go back in with this event that they're having. You know, they gave us, basically anyone who had an account, they gave us a week free time pretty much. So, I mean, we get to go back in, you know, see what they have changed and, you know, what's still kind of the same. So it's pretty nice to go back in and
like 2
experience
weeks?
it again.
No, like 2 weeks until March the 12th?
Oh, okay, yeah, 2 weeks then.
What's Steve for free to play? When do they go free to play?
They actually, We're just saying
I think the
sometime
actual.
this year. Did
I
they
know,
actually give an
it's-
actual date?
I thought honestly that it was right around that March 12th that that it was going to go to free to play. It's in March that it's supposed to go free to play.
See, update on this news website. Says it was posted 3 hours ago that they were saying like this spring.
Yeah. Well, basically, what
No,
the news is that Aeon's rallying the troops for that begins on February the 27th. Each player, whether new, returning, or currently subscribed, will receive bonuses during that time, including a double XP, 30% boost in AP, and Crucible insignias. New recruits need only make an account to begin playing the free extended trial. Returning veterans will play for free through Master 12. All those who are currently serving along with the returning veterans will benefit from more medals and relic loot drops from fortresses. So what do you think, guys? Reading that for probably the lead up to the free to play, that is.
I'm really hoping this game goes somewhere. I did enjoy playing it a long time ago. The only problem is that it's a little bit of a grind past 30, which I don't know. I mean, we see games like SOTOR that you can grind it out within a month, and then you have a couple of people in here themselves.
They go too
Convict
quick.
himself grinded it out, then he's like,
Yeah.
there's nothing to do.
One
Go
thing I
fast.
have noticed that I personally don't remember from the original release of Aeon that I noticed today when I was playing is I was leveling this character. Every level they would say it was like a questionnaire, but it really wasn't. You know, you just check a little box. You know, there's only one box there, so you're like, oh, okay. You do that and you choose an item you want, and they'd give you free stuff. So, you know, I ended up getting some free gear, you know, some weapons and some potions and stuff. So, I mean, that alone, I was just like, I thought, like, instantly, you know, oh, this is, you know, like, something leading up to the whole free-to-play thing. So, there are little things in there that kind of hint off at the whole free-to-play.
Yeah, I mean, when you were describing that, it reminded me. I know, like Perfect World and let's see, what is it? Jade Dynasty from which is also another Perfect World game, by the way. They do something kind of similar for your first few levels, is give you stuff every level as you level up to like 10, 20, something around there. And I was wondering whether or not that might be what they're implementing for part of their free to play.
Yeah, another one that I saw that you typically see in the free-to-play, like MMOs and stuff like that, was, again, not sure, because it's been forever since I played the original release, but when I went to go delete my, one of my characters, basically had a 5-minute timer on it before it actually got deleted, so
Yep.
I was like, oh, that reminds me of free-to-play stuff. Oh, nice.
Stewie, do you want the newbie to this big area that he's yet to discover?
Well, I've seen Aeon before. I've watched my friends play it. It does look a heck of a lot better than World of Warcraft by far. It would be probably one of my first MMOs to consider possibly playing along with SWTOR, if I ever actually did pick up an MMO.
Well, it comes at the cost in this. But as soon as we
This is
go on
gonna
free to
happen
play,
here
you can,
soon.
you'll be going to free to play, so you might as well pick it up when it goes free to play. At least then you won't be hurting your pocket.
True. I might consider that actually, just to see what it's like firsthand.
It'll be interesting for me because you know, the other title that's going to be coming up later on in the round table is that Aeon came closest to that Dark Age of Camelot with the Abyss system. You know,
Dude,
you
the
have,
Abyss system on that is awesome. Like, absolutely awesome. I got telling Cosmic about it. They're getting to the Abyss of where you're fighting for, like, fortresses and stuff like that. So you have a, you know, an NCP. God, I can't. can't even talk anymore. But you have a, AI controlled guard at the
NPC.
bottom. Yeah, I don't know why I've been messing it up lately. I mean, MPACP. Can I get it even straight in my head? But you have an NC. Yeah, see, did it again. NPC at the freaking bottom of this fortress, and you're fighting it. And then you have the other, the other race that's coming down and trying to kill you, while you're trying to take over this. So they're trying to fight this boss off, and it's the first one, who gets the most damage on the thing, and it like drops it. So, just a matter of doing that, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know is you see, oh, well, here comes, another race in, and they're trying to kill you, and you have 3 people trying to fight this thing and trying to fight you, and it's this massive chaos battle, and it's freaking amazing. Definitely, some people should go online and watch some of the videos of that stuff. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
What I can remember from the launch of Aeon is that I got to 25, went into the Abyss, and I can remember like this one huge fortress, and right at the bottom of the fortress is this boss, right at the bottom of it, and you have to literally work your way down it, and hopefully that you can get down it without getting attacked by the other enemy faction. And this is at the time when, for me, is when the NPC faction was invading to try and take it back. So the
it's crazy mayhem.
Yeah, and I gotta say that I'm thinking about even checking it out myself, since SWTOR right now is boring me to death. Yeah. So yeah, moving.
As much as I want to love that.
Go on. Yeah, so moving on.
Sure.
Next up is, I'm pretty sure we played this, and we. Anybody play this? Champions Online?
I've not played it yet. I know Dave has.
One moment.
He's like, where's it at? Where's it at?
He's like, it's here. Just wait for
I
it.
tried playing a little bit of it personally, just throw my little thing out there while Dave's off. But I mean, to me, just the whole superhero things, I don't know. There's been a lot of them coming out, and it's just, I don't know. It's just not my thing. I like sticking to my typical, style MMOs.
Before Dave shows us his thing, what the news is Champions Online rolling out role and stat changes. Like many MMOs, Champions Online is at the heart of the game of numbers. Your character type focuses on certain stats, and you want to make those stats go higher. But sometimes the way these work together is a bit less intuitive in the live game, so hence some recent changes to super stats and regular stats on the test servers. The biggest change assigns 1 primary and 2 secondary rather than 2 super stats to players, which alleviates the current problems with super stats. Certain pairs of super stats work poorly together and are poorly represented in itemization. So what do you think, guys, from what's the statement there coming from Champions Online? What's your opinions?
Well, okay, here, so you guys can see it. See if you can see that. See that there? That's one of the paper and that's one of the paper and pencil champions books. Okay. Now look down here at the authors. See the second name.
I've never seen it. Who is that guy? Who is that
Nice.
Nice.
Yes, I wrote this book for Champions. Champions I played Champions for many, many years on the paper and pencil. So when I saw that the game was coming out, I was going like, yes! And then I played it and went, no! And issues. It is not... the other 2 superhero games out on the market... my things are focusing in and out. The other 2 MMO games on the market, City of Heroes and DC Online, have better graphics, they have better combat, they have better gameplay. Period. I mean, all across the board. Champions have the best story, though, which is kind of the problem, is because I like the story behind things. Champions actually has the best story. The problem is also the game is not really the paper and pencil. The paper and pencil has the stats work way differently than they do in the MMO. So the changes they made in the stats, I don't know. I mean, the problem is with it is that they rely too heavily on the stats in the MMO game than they do in the paper and pencil game. It's more important to have the powers than it is to have the stats. And that's not the way it is in the MMO. So the game is already skewed for stats, so you have flavor of the month builds.
Yeah.
And this is going to do the same. All this is going to do is just, okay, everybody respects. Okay, yep, back to flavor of the month. That's all it's going to do. I can't see where it's going to improve the game that much.
So they wowing it out, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, the stats are king, and of course all of your equipment gives you stats, and that's never been the way it has been in the game. The stats allow you to hit, but the damage is independent of the power. So you could have a super-powered punch, but not all of your stuff does all the same kind of damage, and that's the way it is in the Champions game. And the diversity that was touted for selecting powers, because it doesn't have stat trees, as my ESPN goes off, it doesn't have the trees like both DC and City of Heroes do, where you're okay, I'm taking the fire tree and I'm going to have these fire things I can select kind of within the tree. This one you can pick and poke all your powers out, but since it's all dependent on the stats, you're not going to want to take, you know, weird side powers that may fit what you consider your character concept because of it.
Yeah. Didn't you guys play it besides? Well, I played it for a little bit. I only go through the tutorial.
It is free to play.
It is free to play now, which
I've not even touched it at all. I just don't know why. It's kind of one of those games where it's just like, for me, it's like, okay, you have, you know, City of Heroes, City of Villains all together, and then you have Champions. Which one I'm going to play? I'm going to play the better one, which is, you know, City of Heroes.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste my hard drive space for this.
Plus in City of Heroes and plus City of Heroes and in DC, the two direct rivals to this, you can play villains. You can't play the villains in Champions Online.
No. So I think the Champions Online is more like the rip-off of the both, in the sense you could say, trying to mainstream it, when in fact all they've done is kind of, I don't know, do many people play Champions Online these days as much as they used to, or?
Not as much as they used to, no.
It's kind of one of those games where it hit hard, and then all of a sudden it's just like,
Well, you also have to remember another thing about this game, which a lot of people may not know. It is, of course, it was done originally by Cryptic, and it was the game that they put up just before Star Trek Online. They perfected their game engine using Champions, and then, you know, applied it to Star Trek Online. That was their plan.
Now you see how well Star Trek Online is doing compared to this game, which a lot of people are loving Star Trek Online. A lot of people are wanting, you know, like a lot of people are sitting there saying, I don't really see anything that I really had to pay for, you know, to enjoy the game. And a lot of games out there, you feel like you have to pay to enjoy the game. So.
Yeah.
Champions is the same way. You don't have to pay to get anything special. You pay to unlock costume looks, mainly, which is what you do on Star Trek. It's not as big of a deal.
Does Star Trek and Champions have a subscription option where, even though you got the free
Yes,
to play,
they do have the subscription. Yes, they have the subscription option. In fact, I have to say that I have a lifetime on Champions, so at any point in time I can go back to Champions.
Yeah, well, I played it for a while.
I bought it because I support the game. I mean, come on, I support the game. I got another book over here too that's got my name on it.
Now my question is, when you pay the lifetime subscription, how much was that originally? When you just drop
$100. Just $100.
For just, and you don't have to ever pay subscription at all.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm considered
Jesus.
subscribed the entire rest of the time.
Damn.
Yeah.
See, I wish more games would do this. I wish SOTOR would do this. Be
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
Star Trek-
DC.
Star Trek is 200.
Yeah, DCUO did it, and I mean it's really awesome because what they do with that is if you buy the lifetime subscription, and the game eventually ends up going free to play or whatever, then if you had the lifetime subscription, you still have it, but you're just a lifetime premium like fucking member on it. So you basically still keep that status even when it goes free to play. So you still get all the good perks.
I really
Yeah,
wish they would do this to all games later on. I really do.
Yeah.
Like later on.
I would. I love Swoto to do it. Even like games of the past.
Lotro doesn't.
Lotro does it.
Lotro doesn't. Lotro
Really?
doesn't. D&D Online doesn't, from my understanding. So, I mean, those two... Now, realize, now, Perfect World now runs Star Trek and in Champions. So, they basically fit it into their model. So, now, the other thing is... Now, I'm not positive about this, but Perfect World has had, for all their other games, a unified currency.
Uh-huh.
And so you buy the currency on the website, and it will apply. You then apply it to whichever game you play out of their site. And I think Champions is in that, but I don't think Star Trek is in it yet because of the the amount of popularity. They didn't move that into this yet. But that way, if you want to buy a costume here, you're good, but you pay $10 on their website, and it's like, well, I want to apply only $5 to this game, and then I want to apply $5 to Perfect World or to Jade Dynasty or whatever.
Yeah.
You can do that.
That sounds pretty good. I agree with it. I wish more MMOs come up with a lifetime thing, because it would only serve to purpose and keeping the MMOs alive. Knowing that they can always go back to it. You know what I mean? So moving on. Terra, again. I won't say too much because I'm not allowed. Are we?
No, it's still NDA right now.
You have to sit there like Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing.
You know nothing.
I think the only thing we can say is it's Cosmic's new addiction.
And it sounds like his Adams as well.
From what I've seen of it, man, telling you, it's got that.
The bad thing is about this game is the reason why that we're kind of like, don't want to really jump in it is because it's the lawsuit shit. The lawsuit is basically this was going to be Lineage 3. This was the system that Lineage 3 was going to run off of, everything like that. The game, anyway, the game code. And what happened was...
Engine is the word you're looking for.
Yes, I don't know where my brain is today. Apparently, if I'm off work, then my brain is off work completely. But it's like the game engine is basically the same code that was supposed to be for Lineage 3. And now you've got all this going on, and I don't want to jump into it and be like, yes, I love this game so much. Then somebody come along and be like, oh, just rip that away from you.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely really one of the things that keep me from even really looking too much into this game, because, I've had it happen to me, where, and I don't know about anyone else, but, where you buy the game and, you start paying for it, and the next thing you know, the game shuts down a couple months down the road, and then you're just kind of left out, with nothing. And, the game that did that to me, it was APB. And, it's just, I mean, it just sucks, it's a terrible experience, and I mean, until, we start hearing more about this lawsuit and everything like that, and I see, kind of how it's going to go, then I'm probably going to stay pretty much away from this and not even worry about even looking too far into it.
For me, it was Hellgate London.
Yep.
Oh, Hellgate London, yeah. Well, it's coming back now.
Yeah,
it's already out.
Oh, really?
But
free to play.
Yeah, no, it's out. It's out. It's free to play now. But when it went out, I had a subscription to it because that was our secondary game for our MXO crowd.
Well, basically,
I
go on, Adam.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, mine was Tabula Rasa.
Oh
Was
yeah,
one
I
for me.
played that.
I played it hardcore into it. One thing I kind of bitched about was there really wasn't PvP in it, which there should have been. And it's like basically they screwed it. It's like, okay, well, here we go. Oh, you enjoy this game? Oh, well, it's shutting down. And I'm like, what? People are playing this game. You're shutting it down already? Really? I mean,
I can remember on Tabula Rasa where you go into that one area and basically the mobs were spawning in to take over the bases. That was
which
new
was
to me.
fucking awesome. Awesome. Which runs me back to maybe like thinking about going back to Rift, because why it's like the NPCs take over towns. You can't do a quest in that town until you take the town back over and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
But like it's conquest
amazing.
controls, isn't it? Which is a world changing all the time. But basically what they're saying for Terra Online is Terra's store experiences massive failure. Head must say, sending out beta invites by hand. While Terra's second closed beta event is in full swing, right this very second, plenty of potential testers are raging at the heavens because the online store won't complete pre-order purchases and deliver the codes. Pre-ordering the title was the guaranteed path to beta, so it's understandable that players who had the hoped to give this title to the test drive. Head Massey responded with an explanation and a solution for the store snafu. According to the studio, the store provided experienced a massive failure yesterday, which caused the issue with saving purchases to the hard drives. The vendor is attempting to fix it, but there is no ETA when the task might be completed. So what do you think, guys, for Terra?
Well, there you go.
I think
Are you
it's,
all ready?
it's gonna hurt them probably a little bit. I mean, because already, when you advertise it, we're like, all right, yeah, you buy this, and you get the beta or whatever, and then people try to pre-order it and get in the beta and all that, and they pretty much get gypped out of it. I mean, it's really tends to get a lot of people angry and probably, discourage them from wanting to continue forward with trying to get the game, so.
Well, the thing is, the lawsuit thing that's going on with them, now this, that's only going to hurt them further, and the game's not even out yet over here or over there, for Europe and America, so.
This is kind of reminding me of all the fiasco that happened around, like with Age of Conan, when Age of Conan came out. It was things unrelated to the direct gameplay that caused some major issues, and that's what it seems is happening here with Terra, which might curse the game.
Yep. I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's going to bring the end to that game before they know it.
Yeah, that and the lawsuit. I mean, which is really sad because from everything, from all the videos and screenshots and stuff that I've seen about it, I mean, the combat system for, a pay-to-play game, looks awesome, and, the graphics actually look pretty amazing, too, from what I've seen, so, I mean, it's definitely has a lot of potential in my eyes to be a great MMO, but, it's just all these things, that keep happening to it that could just cripple it before it even really gets up and running, so.
Especially the lawsuit. The lawsuit, depending on how much money they get sued, if they people who are suing them are successful, that means less money for those people to use.
I think, really, rather than suing them, they should just be like, right, well, you owe us a good percentage of royalty, just to keep the game going.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would make sense
Yeah.
to go through and be like, hey, let the game run. Whatever you get off of this, the subscription-wise, we get a percentage of that because of you being a douchebag and taking our code.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's pretty nice because their pre-order stuff, they actually, like, their standard edition is going for, like, 50, as opposed to, I think, usually when new MMOs come out, they're usually, like, 60. But, I mean, you can get their standard edition for 50, and then you can get their collector's edition for 60. So, I mean, you look at that, how many people are going to just be dishing out, for the collector's edition? So, they could make, potentially a lot of money off this. So, if they do, end up just going the route like, oh, yeah, pay us, pretty much some of what you end up making off of it and all that, then, I mean,
Well, you'll
Very
make more
profitable
money off
for-
of it rather than a court case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah.
It's a sad thing really with Terra, because it does look like a good game, and I hope it doesn't kill it or kill itself like a lot of these MMOs done lately. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite a lot.
moving on. Me and Adam know a lot about this. Yeah, same clan together when we didn't realise that we were in it.
Yeah, same clan again, and we didn't realize it. And same clan again, and now we realize it.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Darkfall 2.0. Darkfall slices away at the initial unforgiving experience with 2.0. With 2.0, new players will start out in a safe training zone that is designed to teach the fundamentals of the game without the risk of imminent ganking. Plus, the devs promise a nice adventure with an epic ending to boot. The other two systems are coming up with a way to protect mount theft and to encourage the player economy. Mounts in 2.0 will remember their owners for a time, and any thief will have to contend with being branded a criminal and come under fire by guard NPCs. Finally, new markets will appear in all major cities and allow players to buy, sell and place orders for others to fill. There is one catch to shopping, however. If you buy an item from another city's market, you have to either travel there personally to get it or pay the surcharge for delivery. So, Adam, what do you think about this for 2.0?
Man. I bought this game twice. I bought it for I think it was the EU version, and then I bought it for the NA version because you weren't allowed to play on the NA server until like later on. It was like 6 months down the road, so people could catch up and wouldn't have big, massive, stat gain after you came over and been like, oh, well, I got 100% in this kind of magic and I can just wreck you to all the new players. But then started to fall off whenever there wasn't anything going on. It was everybody was going magic, nobody was going melee. Oh, mana missiles being shot everywhere, and that was it. And they split the community, which was stupid. They should have just stayed on one server.
Yeah.
That's it, and just left it like that. But it's with this new system they're talking about, and where new players being able to go through and start up. I know Cosmic played a little bit as a new player and was scared to death about going out and being like, I just got all this stuff, now somebody's going to kill me, and I don't want to lose all my shit. So I think this new system is awesome.
Definitely, just from what I've seen of 2.0, I mean, it does look interesting. Because, like Adam was saying, I did try it out as a new player, and, when you read up on it and you see what type of game it is, it's this really hardcore game, it's like you can lose everything, just starting out. And I think for them, basically, changing it to where you can, it's going to teach new players the fundamentals of the game without having to worry about getting ganked and all your starter stuff stolen and, just being screwed, basically. That's awesome, because now people will actually be able to learn the game, for a little bit, and then, not have to worry about getting their stuff stolen. So I think you could definitely open it up a little bit more to a lot more people, because I think with it being such a hardcore game already, it kind of limits the, crowd that wants to play it. So I think it just kind of limits the number of people, but I think with them changing this, it could definitely open it up to a lot more people.
Yep. And I like this market system they got, where basically you set up a market. That's new.
A lot of people are going in this stuff. It's like, I know that Zion just started a new market where it's like every Wednesday and Saturday you can go in, trade up your stuff, load up, and go and sell all the stuff, and then that's freaking amazing. That's absolutely awesome. I like the idea of being able to go to a major city, and that also gives, the idea of going to a city in this game, because a lot of times in Darkfall you already have your city built up, and you just stay there, and that's it.
Yeah.
You stay there, you go around your area. It doesn't give you a whole lot of wanting to go explore and stuff like that. But this idea of having to go from one place to get the item, oh, it's being sold here, and I have to go there and get it, or I have to pay an ass ton of money to get that kind of stuff. That sounds absolutely awesome.
Yep, I got. You know, I don't remember. You know, there's a lot of. You know, Darkfall is one of those games that it's anybody who doesn't like PvP or is somewhat timid is probably not going to be this game for you, because in this game the bank is your best friend. Isn't that right, Adam?
Yeah.
What is this, Dave? What are we waving our hand about?
Yeah, no, that's the reason why I never ended up on Darkfall, even though I had signed up for the beta way back when, was because of things like you guys are describing. It is definitely a hardcore PvP game. There's just no way around it. You've got to be ready for that. Yep. And if you have a computer, and at the time I had a computer that could barely handle any sort of PvP really in Matrix Online when I was signed up for the beta, and when I found that out, I was like, nope, sorry, can't do it. I just don't have the computer for it. Now I don't have the reflexes for it, so it is. I love the concepts that they introduced in there, and I really wish a lot of other MMOs would adopt some of these concepts. And of course, the game that we're going to be talking about later too. But never happened, and they really. I mean, for PvP though, this is probably one of the better games out there, and the 2.0 is going to be a lot better for it too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And I gotta say the political map, the political system in this game. You know, me and Adam can remember the when Darkfall was just one server on EU. The political landscape was phenomenal. You know, you have all sorts of stuff going on in forums.
Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous, because you would have to be like, okay, well, this person's aligned with this person. If I kill them, I'm going to piss off this group of people, and I don't want to piss off this group of people, or I don't want to go through and take all their shit. And it's just so much political stuff to that. And that's what we're kind of finding on Zion lately, is that there is like a lot of political stuff going on there. This group is kind of, you know, buddy with this group, and this group wants to help out this group, and you kill one person here and take their shit, somebody else is going to come by and take your shit. So I love the political game in these kind of games, because you have to go through and you have to, it's not like, you know, WoW or anything else like that. You play the game, this is what happens, this is Horde, this is Alliance, you kill the Horde, blah blah. That
yeah.
kind of stuff.
I mean, definitely like these, you know, more robust systems, because it actually does make you think about your actions, you know, before you do them. Whereas, you know, like you're saying, like WoW and all that, you know, has such a kind of, you know, simplistic system to it. You can basically do whatever you want without having to worry about, you know, any kind of, like, reaction from, you know, someone else. So, but with these, you know, open PvP games, you know, like Zion and Darkfall and stuff, and, you know, that political system there, if you do something, you might, you know, step on someone else's toes and have to worry about them later down the road. So.
And the other thing you got to think about is that Adam knows this about Darkfall, is that there was multiple alliances as well. So you might piss somebody else off, but you might realize that you just made yourself a good friend some way by stepping on their toes.
Yep.
I mean, we did that when we were part of VG. We did that against Hyperion, you know, and then finds out that we're making friends with the goons, which was
yeah, that really that really reminds me of Guild Wars 1 with their guild system that they had, because they actually had alliances on Guild Wars, so you'd have, like, you know, your guild, and you could be allied with, like, all these different guilds. It was pretty awesome.
Yep. So moving on. Talking about Guild Wars.
That was actually a pretty good segue of, you know, in Guild Wars you can do this, but now there's Guild Wars 2.
It's what I do, man. It's what I do. I set up for the next story. It's my job.
He set it up pretty well, I gotta say. And like I said, Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 beta sign-ups pressing on for the millionth sign-up. After an exciting 48 hours, the Guild Wars 2 beta sign-up session left ArenaNet a little less than 10,000 sign-ups short of 1 million. Rather than settling for this already impressive number, the folks at ArenaNet have decided to keep going until they hit the millionth application mark. So what do you think, guys? 1 million sign-ups for beta.
I think hopefully this is a game that breaks the mold of subscriptions right here. Because, I mean, from what I'm seeing from this is you buy the game, you don't do a subscription. You get to play the game whenever you want to play it, log into it, don't get burnt out, you know, and being like, oh, I have to play this every day because I'm paying for it. And I really hope that this, you know, takes over completely, takes over.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is really impressive, you know, and it really shows, you know, how much of a following, you know, just Guild Wars in general has, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people who signed up have played Guild Wars 1 and enjoyed it, you know, like me, myself. I pretty much, when I heard that they were taking sign-ups, I was like, oh, God, well, God, signing up, because, you know, that, and, you know, anyone who's new and hasn't played Guild Wars 2, you know, they start seeing all the stuff, you know, like Adam was saying, you basically buy the game, you don't have to pay a monthly subscription, you know, which is the same way they had the first one set up. You just bought the expansions, that was it. That, and, you know, if you look at all these videos and stuff like that have come out, you know, especially after, you know, I think it was like a week ago or something like that, they had a press beta weekend, and all this new information and videos started coming out after that, you know, they allowed the press to do. So, you know, I've seen, you know, they got a faster PvP, you know, their faster combat system, you know, that, and, you know, just the way they basically take questing. They've redone a lot of their stuff and improved it. And, you know, they have some pretty unique things in there that I think really pull a lot of people in.
Yep. You know, and talking about Guild Wars 2, you know, all of us right now, you can see on the screen, guys, we're all members of Blacklisted, which we forgot to advertise at the beginning of the show, guys, and we will do it right now, because this will be a great segue into this, is that, you know, if you want to check out what Blacklisted is, guys, go to www. Dave, do you want to take it on?
blacklistedgaming.org, and we have our new website up and our new forums up. So,
oh, sweet! I have not got to check that out yet.
Yep, there's a brand new theme to the forums. Thanks to Peanut Fox, he created us a new theme. There's in there, guys. You're happy to go yourself and apply right now. There's a Guild Wars. We got ourselves a Guild Wars 2 section in there. So anybody's interested in Guild Wars 2 and want to join Blacklisted, go and say hi and play. Simple way to play, guys. Pretty easy.
Oh my, I like this.
The website looks amazing. Mad props to Peanut for definitely setting that up. And I mean, he even has the Blacklisted Twitter thing right there, so the whole feed. So you can just simply go to the website and boom, right there, you're on the Blacklisted Twitter. So
I don't see any Zion in there underneath games.
I don't see any bikini pics, Kima.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know, Guild Wars 2 is that I'm pretty sure, you know, I'm looking forward to it, especially if the skills system is looking phenomenal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's really getting me about it that I thought was really impressive was, one, is their improved combat system. They made it, you know, faster, so it's not as slow as the first one was. That, and the way they're changing, you know, your leveling and you're fighting your mobs, you know, between land and water is very impressive, you know, because you go from land into water, your entire skill bar changes, and then, like, if you're fighting a mob underwater, you pull them up onto land, their abilities that they use completely change. Like in one of the videos that they actually released themselves, was they went in the water, they were fighting this like monster, don't even know what the hell it was, but they pulled it up on land and it started breathing fire. And I was like, wow, that is really impressive that they can have that, you know, robust of a combat system with just a mob.
That would make sense if you think about it, because the mob's not going to be able to breathe fire in water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it.
Or use water skills on land. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really impressive. I think they've really done a great job, and from what I've seen, it looks like it's going to be a phenomenal game.
Yep, looking forward to it. And like I said, guys, interested in playing Guild Wars 2 with us, sign up to blacklistedgaming.org, and we'll see you all there. So, moving on. I won't say too much, because this is my part where I have to keep my mouth shut. SOE shows off PlanetSide 2 anti-aircraft battery creation video. Guys, if you go straight to the PlanetSide 2 website, you can see this. SOE senior artist Roel Jovilinos, I can't pronounce his name properly, walks us through the creation process of nanite system anti-aircraft guns. So I can't say whether I am or not. I cannot neither confirm or deny I'm in beta. But anybody want to take a shot on this?
This game looks absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait for it because I played the first one. I want to play the second one. And it's free to play, which is awesome. So hey, if I want to buy a gun to use it, I'm gonna do that.
I'm trying to keep my mouth shut, because of you know, be some awesome stuff I've been seeing, but yeah. I gotta say, since you know, the thing is, see, since they're showing the anti-aircraft gun, I can say a little bit about that. It is quite deadly when used. Put it that way.
Dang.
It is quite deadly when used, that anti-aircraft gun. You hit the right spots.
I think it's pretty awesome how they're just kind of. Well, it's not really awesome. I think it's kind of messed up how, you know, SOE themselves, they just keep releasing these little tidbits about these little things, you know, like pretty much, you know, every so often, like, they release, like, these new weapons or whatever, you know, they show them off, and I'm just like, oh my god. It's like, release some videos of in-game footage already, you know, we want to see this. Don't just give us still pictures and, you know, stuff of, you know, creating, you know, the actual weapons or whatever, you know? It's like, give us actual game footage, please.
He just wants the game now. Is it?
They're just I'm telling you, man, they're just...
They're trolling you.
Yeah, about had it with them and they're trolling.
They need to hurry up too, man. Cause I'm like going, come on, dude. Seriously, let's let me play the effing game.
Yeah.
I know.
But it's kind of worrying me though that they're showing, you know, these things being made, but how far along are we until this game gets released? And that's the thing I want to know. I want to
quite
know
a while off yet.
when this game's being released, and I want to play it.
Another 5 years.
Yeah,
Man.
definitely just from what I saw in the first one, because played the first one back in its like open beta and stuff like that, and I actually kept track of it back then. The first one stayed in beta for a while. I mean, they had a lot to work out. I mean, they might have learned a lot, but I mean, with them going through and trying to change up the system, and then having to go through, you know, with an updated graphics engine and do all this, I mean, they're gonna be in beta for a while. I can, you know, say that, you know, with
It's killing me.
Probably the way to think and look at this is, do you like Unreal Tournament?
yes.
Unreal Tournament? It's pretty alright.
Slow it down a little bit. Do you like Quake?
Yeah.
Slow it down. Slow it down a little bit. Do you like anything? Return to Castle.
From what I
Wolfenstein.
was,
Now, see that I don't care for. Castle Wolfenstein.
What about Battlefield 3 then?
Now, Battlefield 3.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. From like the trailers and all that stuff or whatever, you know, just from the way I seen, you know, how the graphics look or whatever, and just from, you know, what they showed in the videos that they've released so far, it really did seem like it had more of a kind of Battlefield, kind of Call of Duty-ish kind of feel to it. So I think it could be very interesting.
Yeah, the good way for me to describe it is, think of Unreal Tournaments mixed with Battlefield 3, but slowed down the pace of Unreal Tournament.
See, the big thing I can't wait for is to be able to go through and have a group of us together and be like, all right, guys, you're good at flying a plane. Cosmic, get in the plane. I'm good at the ground stuff. I'll get in this ground unit. You get in this ground unit, Mosh, and, you know, a day of us get in this, and bam, hit it up all at once. There you go.
The other thing you get in there is that...
Stu can be the commander behind us telling us to go.
Hey, I'm good on the ground and in the air, so...
Ground in the air, huh?
Yep.
That's what some of the girls say about me, but anyway.
Oh. God.
Should I be scared right now, or should I be running far, far away?
Rainbow.
Not far enough. Is that, I can say this, is that, you know, the squads, I can say it because they've said this in an interview before, is that the actual squad leader stuff and skills is something to behold, I'm going to say, but I won't say too much because I can see some of it already, or seen it. Can't say much. Not allowed. So
You just
moving
did.
on. Keep my mouth shut.
Slap on the wrist for you, Welsh.
Yeah.
Next one is.
Next one is, well, considering that we mentioned it earlier, I'm going to mention it now. SWTOR, or Star Wars, The Old Republic. Yeah. The news on this is BioWare average SWTOR play sessions tops 4 hours. Star Wars The Old Republic players are consuming game content in 4 to 6 hour sessions on average, according to Kotaku and BioWare bigwig Greg, can't pronounce his name, but when they play, their sessions are reserved, he said recently. So what do you think, guys? 4 hour sessions for SWTOR?
Yeah, they're probably 4 hour sessions of sitting there trying to be able to get in a flashpoint together. That's probably what it is. Hey, looking for a group. Hey, looking for a hardware. Hey, how about some boredom? That's,
I think most of that comes in is, I think what most of that's coming from with the, you know, their average play session, whatever, is from people leveling, because you get so immersed in the storyline that you end up, you know, even if you go in there and start saying, oh man, forget the cinematics, I'm not going to watch them, you know, I'm not going to watch the cutscenes and stuff. They're so awesome, you know, you just have to. You end up doing it anyways. So you end up taking that extra time to go through these quests to just watch the cutscenes and stuff. So I think that's where they're getting most of their numbers from.
But what?
I'll say that, you know, 4 hours, that, you know, 4 hours a night, that's about what I was basically doing there for quite a while.
How about now?
So, how about now? I'll be lucky to get 4 hours a week, but it's not because, it's not the same reasons you guys have. It's just because of the fact that it burned me out by playing it that much. You know, to me, I've got 7 more characters to get to level 50. I mean, that's the way I'm approaching it, but it's like, I just did all this for this one, we'll skip it. You know? I'm just kind of burnt out right at the moment, just because I did do it what I consider for myself fairly intensely for quite a while. You guys who do PvP, especially you, Cosmic, and even somewhat you, Welsh, you know, there's only so many times you can do a hut ball.
Yeah.
You know, and that's you know, that factors into your guys' experience with it, and that's why you guys have gotten bored with it, is because, you know, we really haven't done much, you know, as a guild with the hard modes yet, just because we've had a hard time getting everybody up to 50 and being around. So it just, you know, the factors are conspiring against us on this.
Yep, they are. And the SWTOR bad luck is dampering down on us. But hopefully we can get some of that back. Me and Akima trying to.
The big thing is for me is, it's like, and I really hate to say this, it's like, I sit there. It's one thing for me to sit there and whether or not I'm going to subscribe to something and sit there and beat myself up in the head saying, do I enjoy this enough to pay for it? And right now, that's the problem with me. I'm going, am I really enjoying this enough to pay for it? And I was going to unsubscribe the other night, and then all of a sudden, before I could, all of a sudden, next thing I know, I looked on my credit card, and it's like, thank you for subscribing for another month. And I'm like, what the hell? Oh, shit. I didn't realize that I did that. So,
I went through, you know, and
yeah,
Been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
yeah, and I'm
Oh,
like,
you've been resubscribed for another 6 months.
yeah, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna give it some more time, give it another chance, go through and do some stuff here if I can get the guys in the house to do things of actually playing together. But the problem is that we've all got, you know, Twisted Metal right now. We're trying to play together, which is fucking horrible right now. Trying to link up, which I think they fixed a little bit today. But got that. I'm in the Starhawk beta for that. I'm in some other betas I can't discuss. Probably about 4 right now, 4 different betas that I'm in right now trying to check out. And it's just, I'm overwhelmed with games right now. I mean, hell, I've even got this bitch right here, Gamefly. I've got it, and I haven't even popped that disc in yet to even play. It's just, I've got way too many games on my plate right now. And I just don't know if I'm
which one you play or want to play enough.
That's the thing. I mean, that's the thing.
I think the answer for the PvE side for SWTOR is to improve the damn looking for group system.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely horrible.
They need to sort that out because
they need to just go ahead and just go, you know, pat WoW on the back and say, congratulations, you set up an awesome system for your stuff. Now, can we borrow that? Because that's pretty much what they need to do. Bad, really bad.
The thing is, you know, when I said prior to SWTOR, I said this, you know, I hope they don't bring a Dungeon and Finder in. Because I don't want this to turn into a cross-server thing where you lose that server relationship between everybody in there. Because you remember, on WoW, before they brought the cross-server stuff in, you can always remember who the next person was on your server.
Mm-hmm.
But whereas when I brought it in, you lost that flavour. Now with this,
yeah, you gotta find
you got
that you team up well with these people or not.
Yeah, on SWTOR they kind of got it, but the looking for group system is actually diabolical. They need to improve it so that it can look for classes on your server. So since it's only server based, then they need to improve it so that it can integrate all the 50s on it, or all certain levels for these different types of flashpoints. Because otherwise, what's the point of using a chat when a lot of people are not even on the fleet? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So to me, I think that they really need to, if they want to save SWTOR, they need to get in it real quick and fast and sort the damn bugs out. That's one thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which Cosmic, you're ranting and raving about the damn bug with the loading screens.
Yeah.
The problem they're going to run into with this is actually twofold. One, I mean, you're going to keep the Star Wars fan base. I mean, that's what a majority of the Star Trek fan base, online fan is, the original fans. You're going to keep them no matter what you do. Your real gamers are going to drift away, and it's no fault of their own. It's the problem is these days, with so many games out there and so many other things that are taking away from your time, you're not going to have the time to fix these games. They don't have I don't care how many staff they have. They don't have the staff to do it. And with other MMOs coming out, I mean, like we say, we got Terra coming out. You know, we got pushed back a bit with the Secret World, but that's fine. And now I heard of another thing that's going on here, which I was going to bring up after the end of this BioWare discussion, and which is going to draw people away. And there's going to be so many MMOs and so many other games to draw people away from you. They just don't. They're not going to have the staff to hold up. I really
don't think so.
I don't think they are.
I don't think they
I don't.
can. I mean, it's no fault. Like I said, it's no fault of their own. But one of the flaws in these MMOs is if you're going to broadcast and having PvP, you need to be able to do more than just a couple battlegrounds and in this case, a couple operations and hard modes. You just became WoW at this point in time, and one of our dearest friends was mentioning this the other day. Of course, I kind of got upset about it, but it's the truth. They're starting down the WoW path, and I don't know if they're going to be able to right the ship fast enough to not go into that trap.
And the thing is you have to add more PvE to this, you got to have full voice over this stuff.
Yep.
You got to have voice actors on this, and you got to do, all that shit again, and you're like, oh my god, okay, that's going to take a while. You're going to have to pay somebody else to do that. That's more money out, So it's just, I was thinking about it the other day. Okay, I
was going to say, the only way you're going to add anything into the game for PvE for at least you can't add the ones that are currently there. You can't expand it really without what you're talking about. With the expansion, you're going to have to do all 8 characters again, which means that's at least 8 voice actors that you're going to have to be. The only other way you're going to get it up to add more content to this game, especially if you're talking the lower level content, what are you going to do? You have to create other races, and you're going to have to create everything from 1 to 50.
And I got thinking about it the other day of whether or not, I jump in way too soon on MMOs. I got thinking about that. I was like, maybe I just need to wait about a year for an MMO and wait until they get all those bugs ironed out, they get all the content there, and then I'm not going to burn myself out of being I'm level 50. What do? I don't know what to do. I have no clue what to do now. And so that's the thing for me. I really think I
waited 6 months before I got into WoW compared to everybody else because I was in EverQuest and EverQuest 2. I jumped immediately into EverQuest 2 and then waited on WoW. I think that might be why I lasted as long as I did on WoW, is just because of that, because I still had a lot of stuff to do. In this case, we jumped in right day 1, hell, technically negative day 4, and we burned through the content, and it's that you get one of two things. You either get bored because you burn through the content, or you burn yourself out. You guys got bored, I burned out.
Yeah. I think that's it.
And I'm afraid any MMO that comes out, from Terra Online to Secret World to anything else from now on, we're going to end up with the same exact problem. We're either going to burn ourselves out or get bored.
I think the thing comes with me is it's got to be one of those things where I'm not looking at my experience bar. And that's a big thing for me, is get me immersed into the game where I don't look at, oh man, I need to be this level. What level? I'm this level. Damn it. Okay, keep grind to get to that level. I think that's really where it comes with Zion with me, is I'm not grinding to get a level of certain things. I'm enjoying the gameplay of what I'm doing. So.
Well, yeah, and I mean that's really kind of what I'm hoping is going to happen with like Guild Wars 2 as well, for me personally, is because they're changing up the play style, from what, we're probably going to be used to. I mean, they're definitely changing up, the way that you interact with the mobs and everything like that. So I think having that extra experience in there is going to probably hopefully change it up a little bit more.
Well, Guild Wars works in a different fashion, and that is actually one of its advantages in this case, which actually may help us in some ways, is the fact that, the original Guild Wars, you only went to level 20.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to, you could create a level 20 right off the bat.
Yep.
And you didn't have the gear, but, you eventually got the gear anyways. So you have... In that case, that entire game was built on the PvP at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just built different compared to everything else. All these other games are really, honestly, well, with the exception of like Darkfall and, Dark Age of Camelot and those, are built with the PvE first. And that's the key to the game, is the PvE up until you get to the end. And then it's like tacked on as an afterthought.
Yeah.
And I think that's where games like this blow up for the hardcore PvP type gamers like you get, like Cosmic is. And I know Welshie is. For me, I've still got stuff to do, but because I was in a rush to get up there to where you guys were, I was in a rush.
Yeah.
And it boggled my mind. I mean, I didn't get to level 50 finally in City of Heroes until 8 years into the game. I mean, that's, the kind of person I am, is I'm the one that experiments with 17,000 characters and stuff. You guys all do one character all the way up to 50, so I'm the alcoholic, You guys, I have 12 characters on Champions Online, 4 of them are max level.
See,
remember I just said that I don't play Champions Online anymore? I still have 12 characters on the damn server. City of Heroes, you don't want to know how many characters I've got sitting on City of Heroes.
Yeah.
That's the thing for me, is it really is. It's one of those things where I want to enjoy the in-game content. And the in-game content for Aeon is, or Ion is for, the fortresses and shit like that. Okay, that's PvP and PvE all in one. And SOTOR is supposed to be PvP and then PvE to a certain extent with the, the flashpoints and the hard modes and things like that. And that's really where it comes down to, your gameplay style. And I really feel like that, they push this game out a little bit too fast and don't have the content there to keep people. And as everything else is the game everybody else goes back to, is whenever, okay, well, this game isn't what I want, I'm going to go and I'm going to play WoW again.
Yeah, they
And
go
that's what
back
everybody
to the
does.
one that works. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think on SWTOR,
Indeed, I do.
and he's already
Yeah, exactly.
Cosmic's done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that, for me, that I think personally, Bioware is missing a boat here with, they got Hillam, where you got PvP, but I think what they could do with that is pick up the ball and run with, basically, look at Aeon, look at Camelot, create a planet where you've got PvE and PvP all at once, just on that planet, or more planets. And the other ball that they're missing is space combat.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible.
That space combat is awful. Alright, it looks fun that once or twice, going around on rails, but come on, look at Star Trek Online. I can go around in my spaceship wherever the fuck I want. So, you know what I mean? So, I just think that they need to look at the game and think there's a lot more to be done with this game, and they need to hurry up and get it done before this game, before they kill it.
Yeah.
Otherwise EA is going to be on Bioware's back for wondering why on earth there's such a subscription drop and why their stocks are falling. So EA ain't going to be happy.
Oh no, they will be really mad.
Yep. So, looks like we've got Dave doing something. I think it's time for commercial break, I think.
Alright, well, I'll go ahead and you want me to hit it?
Yep, so after this commercial break, guys, we'll be hitting the main segment of the show, so see you after this.
Commercial.
Nice.
And if you still hear us right now, you're a turd because you have ad blocker on, or you got some kind of thing that
or the system isn't working right. And then that would be JTV's thing being, or Twitch, shall we say, it's fault. So it's all your fault, Twitch, not us. Alright, and we're back.
And we're back.
Yay.
Yep. So guys, yep, we're back. All of us back. Stewie's off doing something. We got Dave back with us. Stewie's here with his Battlefield 3 Jacket, is it? Is that Jacket? Battlefield 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me zip it up.
Yeah, and basically, guys, we are a part of the show where we are on the round table. For those that are new, don't know what the damn round table is, this is basically what it is, guys. The round table is that we take a MMO aspect, or whatever it is within the MMO world, whether it be guilds, PvE, PvP, whatever it is, or a game title. We'll take it, we will pick it out, dissect it, pros, cons, works, does it work, does it not, whatever. We'll take it and we'll throw it out to you, and then we'll say to you guys, buy it, try it, or bin it. So tonight's one is an old favourite of mine, I'm gonna say. One of my all-time favourites. Not just because of how old it is and because of nostalgia, but because it was the one game that brought RVR in. Those who are wondering what RVR is, anybody want to know? Who answer it? Who wants to say it?
What, RBR? Realm versus Realm?
Realm versus Realm. And what was the first game to bring it in?
Which was, I think this game called Dark Age of Camelot, which
Yeah.
needs to come out with a part 2. Gosh.
I think that's an answer to all the MMO problems, isn't it? Dark Age of Camelot 2.
Yeah, go waste your time on Warhammer Online and make it the old Warhammer Online, not the new crap. But no, we'll go back and take it back to the old style, like, which makes no damn sense at all. I don't understand that, but yeah.
Yeah, and I gotta say that, to bring us into this, I thought I'll show us a video. Now, this is straight off YouTube. This is some gameplay footage, and we'll talk about what we can see through Dark Age of Camelot, and we'll begin this video. So, if we can look right here, now for people who don't know what Dark Age of Camelot, it's basically around the time of King Arthur. When you have Albion, which is Britain, Hibernia, which is Ireland, and Midgard being Scandinavia, Norway and Sweden.
Hence the round table.
Round table.
The round table discussion of the round table.
Yeah.
Which is,
So, you guys ever play this? Dark Age of Camelot?
I played it. I don't know if Dave, Cosmic, Stu played.
I did not.
Oh,
You missed your gem there, I gotta say.
Hang on,
This-
be right back.
absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I really
I,
didn't start getting into the whole MMO scene. Honestly, like, WoW was really my first MMO, so.
You know, the problem was with me is at this point in time when it came out, I already was on 2 MMOs, and I didn't want to go to a third.
Really? Which MMOs were you on? Let me see.
EverQuest
The first one.
and Asheron's Call. At the time.
Mm. Well, basically...
Oh, Ashland's Call. Really? See,
Yep.
I played 2, which was big flop. Because it was the game that I was like, I saw videos of it, and Asheron's Call was like, oh, and you can rebuild the world and stuff like that. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is awesome. You can build in the world and make anything that you want to make. And it didn't happen that way. It was totally lies all around completely.
So what do you guys think of the creation bureau? He came in on there with, I think he picked Midgard, and remember Midgard, it basically would be like a Minotaur.
Yeah, I love the fact that it goes through the lore of, each area of going through, this is the lore of this, and this is the lore of this, and Celtic lore and stuff like that. It is absolutely awesome. And then, you got into the PvP part of it, of taking over fortresses and towers and things like that actually mattered, which was just amazing, absolutely amazing. And then, you have all that battling, which is the quests are awesome too, and it's like one of the first games that ever like kind of linked mobs together. Like you would hit one mob and they would be in a group and they'd all come at you. And I remember like, I messed up so hardcore. There was this stuff by the stream, And I was like, all right, I'm going to pick one, hit that one, and then I'm going to go get the other ones. And I had the, UO ideas and the EverQuest ideas in my head, and I'm going, all right, I'm going to go hit that one guy, take him out, bring the other ones back in later on. Then all of a sudden I hit one, they all came at me, and I'm like, oh shit, I have no clue what to do. I got to run, get out of here. So.
Yeah, if you're looking at the graphics for you now, even, what is it, 10, 11 years? How long was this game? It seems like a decade.
It's been a while, and it's went through 2 graphical updates. The first, it looked like EverQuest, the first EverQuest. It kind of looked like that when it first came out. And then after this, it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
and I do gotta say, one thing I do like about these the older MMOs and stuff is they seem to have a lot more choices with like races and stuff like that. I mean, where nowadays you're starting to get into it where they're kind of limited it down to like you got like 2 or 3 races,
Exactly.
and all that, and it's just like
Which come to think, Dark Age Comet, each realm, I would say realm being Midgard, Albion, and Ebernia, classes were different. If I picked, say for example, Albion, I could be a wizard, I could be a necromancer, I could be a knight, I could be a paladin, right? But if I went Midgard, it'd be different. I could be a rune master. You know what I mean? It would actually suit the Norse type stuff, the thing that being Vikings. Or if I went to Ebernia, you'd have elves. It'd be an island, which a lot of the Irish will be a bit annoyed about, having elves in Ireland. But, it's, and if I can remember what I started out on Dark Age Camelot, I can remember arriving in Camelot, coming out of this, I don't remember, there was a little village outside Camelot called Coombs, right?
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realise Coombs is an actual village in Bristol, in England. And then basically if you go north, actually back into Camelot and you go north, and you've got this big hill, and then basically you take a left and you follow a road, and then you take a left again, and then basically where that takes you is a place in Wales. And all the mobs are all named after Welsh names, Celtic names, and the actual areas are named after Wales. So what they've done is actually looked at the Arthurian law for Albion and implemented it. They've done the same for Ebernia.
By far one of the best combat systems that I've played in a long time. Even though it was, hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, that kind of button hitting, I guess you could say. But it was absolutely amazing. You had to actually think about what the hell you were doing.
It's like, I can remember, the RVR is what this game rides off. You go to the RVR zones, we had 3 areas, 3 main areas, and you could very well take, say for example, a castle in Midgard, but all of a sudden you might find yourself, you and the Midgardians fighting it out between Albion and Midgard, but all of a sudden Ebernia might decide to turn up, and there might be a freeway for one fortress. But not or yet, back on Albion you might find that Midgard's taking like half of your territory, all the castles, but then all of a sudden from out of nowhere, Ebernia might come up from the rear on Midgard and start taking their stuff.
Yep, and it was absolutely phenomenal.
So what are you guys thinking of from what you've seen here for ones who've never played this game? 10 years?
Definitely looks like it would have been a game to, that would have been very interesting, back then. I mean, I do hate the fact that, WoW was, my first MMO or whatever, I mean, I really wish I could have got into the, older MMOs and stuff before, to actually kind of witness them and see how much the actual, genre has come along and changed, so.
I'm waiting for the next generation of MMOs is where it's action-based, of you actually targeting and actually going through and, have to worry about hitting stuff around you, your group, your friends, all that stuff, and not just be like, I'm swinging a sword and I'm hitting you, but I'm
Yeah,
not really hitting you, and stuff
definitely,
like that.
because I mean, that's why I'm kind of hoping for Terra, right now, because it has that system in it, and as far as pay to play goes, it's so far, from what I know, it's the first pay to play game to actually implement that system, So I mean, for the pay to play market, if Terra succeeds, and it can stay alive, it could actually have potential to push that into more MMOs that come out. I mean, I know Dragon's Nest and Vindictus have done it with the free to play, so.
I'm just waiting for the real to play.
To me, the answer to the problem with MMOs is Dark Age of Camelot 2. They just need to take this and upgrade the graphics. That's all they need.
Yeah, if they just upgrade the graphics on it, no, I'd be set.
That's all they need, because
I hate waiting for a game, though. That's the problem. Is I hate waiting and waiting and waiting for a game. And they announced Dark Ages of Camelot 2. I'm losing my mind.
Because
I hate waiting for Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars 2. The thing is, see, like games like WoW, for example, took a lot of their aspects from EverQuest and Dark Age of Camelot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back then, if you look at that, the UI was pretty basic. This is before WoW simplified it. You know what I mean? But even then, it didn't look. You can use it, you can manage it. I mean, nothing fancy. But for what, a 10 years old game, 11, 12 years old game, doesn't still look too bad, considering we 12 years on.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, for what it was back in the day, dude, it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, to this day, I still wish that I would have kept playing and kept playing and kept playing and kept playing and not wasted my time with all these other ones.
Yeah, a lot of these older games still got, you got these new MMOs coming out, and they seem to forget that these older ones still keep doing things that these new ones are not. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. And to be honest, they had to dumb down the game. I think they've had to dumb down the games because of our wonderful education system. Kids can't handle them.
And I agree with Mel that this game was ahead of its time, Dark Age of Camelot.
No, major.
Yeah, there are some things that I really wish MMOs, would start, implementing more. Like the whole like guild base type thing. Like Guild Wars had, the guild halls and all that stuff. Vanguard Saga of Heroes had the the player-owned ships. So you can go out, in the water, and you have your ship, and you sail around the world. I think that's awesome. And I think like with Blizzard's next MMO, if they do an expansive world or something that's kind of, whether it be modern day or what, if it's going to be huge and have like the islands like WoW does, then I think they should try to implement something like that, because I mean there's a lot of stuff you can do with that.
And just
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, just like they're saying in the chat with Live Shatter, it's like, people all the time, you hear it constantly all the time of, hey, why don't they just do another graphic update and bump this up and give it, just that little extra polish. And I agree. I want Dark Age of Camelot too. I want it bad.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize, before they did, Dark Age of Camelot brought in the Atlantis expansion. Alright, I didn't like it that much, the Atlantis expansion, but even to this day, the RVR system in Dark Age of Camelot is head and shoulders above the rest right now. The only thing that comes close is Aeon with the Abyss system. You know what I mean? And they tried to do it with Warhammer, and
it sucked bad. It sucked fucking bad.
And the answer to Mythic's problem at the time was not Warhammer, Dark Age of Camelot 2. That was their answer, because if they did it then, now, Warcraft would have been in trouble, because people remember the first Dark Age of Camelot.
Yeah.
again, you know, no offense to WoW and players of WoW, because hell, I played for many, many years. It was dumbed down, and that's where a lot of these games became dumbed down, and a lot of these innovations were lost. Uh, like I said, I didn't play Dark Age of Camelot. It was really two reasons. One, I am not a PvP person, so it's kind of, back then, especially, I definitely was not interested in PvP. And like I said, I already had two MMOs that I was playing religiously. And I had I had a guild on one and a guild on the other that composed of really good friends on both of them that never the twain shall meet. So I had a situation there where I was splitting time and everything else, and that just didn't lend itself to a third MMO, especially one that had PvP, which I was not enamored with at the time. So that's where I was with it. The graphics, as to what I'm looking at there, are equivalent to something like Perfect World, or still today. I mean, the graphics are still not bad. I mean, it's just they need. I don't know. Maybe they just need to, like you guys say, just upgrade the graphics and then maybe introduce a fourth faction, just for
anything.
to mix things up a bit on it. Like if a group of German dwarves or something.
Or they bring in
the Germanic tribes that are dwarves. More dwarfish.
What
so you have
do with
dwarves
Dark
in
Age
there or
Camelot?
something. Just something different.
Well, considering Dark Age Camelot is based on that Arthurian legend, they brought the Atlantis thing in. They could really do the Greek thing, bring the Greeks in.
Yeah, well, that might be pushing it a little bit, but it would be Rome, because there was popes in Arthurian legend. There was the discussion of a pope at one point in time. Christianity existed, so that would be late Roman Empire or Holy Roman Empire.
Yep, they can easily do the Romans, bring them in. The ending of the Roman Empire coming in. So.
Or well, like I said, it would be either the ending of the Roman Empire or the beginnings of Charlemagne.
Yeah. He's that. The other thing is, as well, Dark Age Camelot did have a PvE thing as well. That I can remember when they brought the Minotaur expansion in. The Minotaur and the dungeon for that was. Today, people will look at that and think that's old. Why do you want to play that? But back in this time, it was phenomenal. I was playing my Necromancer for PvE. Because Necromancer, I'll give you a great example. If I take Cosmic, there was this castle area, and basically it was all these undead mobs there, and I can take him at level 5, I be max level, and I can boost him in levels. I just take him up, put him back in the corner, I just round up all the mobs, me as a Necromancer, I just bring a wizard with me, and we just knock down all these mobs, and he'd be 5 up to 25 in about an hour's worth of grinding.
Yeah, I think with nowadays MMOs, I mean, they're just having trouble, with all these new MMOs that have come out, the past year or whatever. I mean, I think their main problems have been is they've just had a lot of trouble actually keeping their players entertained. And I mean, Dave brought up WoW earlier, with me, the reason why I keep falling back to WoW is because it's really been the only MMO that has been able to keep me, slightly entertained and wanting to pay for it, because, I enjoy the PvP on it, and, if I want to go on there for a little bit and do some PvE stuff, I can quickly get into one, really easy. So, I mean, that's why I keep going back to it, and, it makes me feel like, hey, I can pay my $15 a month for this, and be alright with it, because, there's stuff I can get on, if I want to get on there real quick, do something, I can do it quick, and not have to spend, 30 to, an hour or whatever, trying to find a group for an instance, so.
Well, the other thing with Dark Age of Camelot as well is that, in comparison to WoW, is that you can be easy and well to get into a PvP match or a battleground. But Dark Age of Camelot was the same. If the moment I go into the Realms area, I bet you money it won't take me 10 minutes until I'd be fighting someone.
Oh yeah, because there was many times that I actually went into a realm area that I didn't realize I was actually stepping into it. I was going over and I was like, all of a sudden, the next thing I knew, well, I'm in this, I'm good. I'll be fine. I'll be fine for a little, and then all the next thing I knew, bam, I got 5 guys on me just beating my ass.
Yeah, I can remember that when I was leveling up, I think I got to level 20, I think it was. And I went up into this area. There was a horse outside, and basically, Albion, as you come out of Camelot, you follow the road down past the wolves, past the snakes, and you go north. And basically, there's the realm entrance, and outside is the horse, and he will take you area. Now, if you go through that realm entrance, I went up there as level 20, going into this area, wondering if there's places. I can see a lot of fortresses, a lot of castles on my map. But I just wondered what these were. So I just went across, and this higher level comes out of nowhere, beats my ass, and all of a sudden I find myself spawning at the nearest castle, and I think, what's going on here? And all of a sudden I can see like a lot of these reds, and what's these red tiles? And I realised they're trying to take this castle that I just spawned in. And I can see all these people up on top of the castle walls, all these wizards, all these warriors, paladins and so forth, trying to knock them off. And the funny thing is there was a lot of spell effects coming off those wizards.
Oh, tons of stuff, man. There was so many.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that's got me wanting to fucking push for Aeon so bad, because I remember now. Oh, man, so much awesomeness is happening. So much, worrying about the NPC. Now I can finally get my brain out of my ass and say that, which the NPCs, and also worrying about the NPC faction that's coming, plus fighting off other people and stuff like that. Gosh, just the epicness.
I was talking about that. I remember, I'm pretty sure the people who used to play Dark Age remember this. Is that when they brought the Minotaur expansion in, sometimes in the realm area, the Minotaur would actually come out and mess it up with people as well. So you'd actually go in once the other faction trying to take a fortress. You would just come out of nowhere and actually flank someone from behind, and all you can see is the enemy getting killed.
One thing that I've kind of been noticing stuff is like you guys are, talking about these stories, especially Welsh was talking about, that basically the castle siege, thing. And with those kinds of experiences, I think, back then, the reason why these games were really able to capture a lot of, people into it and keep them entertained was because of interactions like that could get people so immersed in the game that it seems like nowadays developers just scratch them out. Like you look at the free-to-play games, you don't see really immersive situations like that. Whereas you look at the free-to-play games, you see these kind of things more often in free-to-play games than you do pay-to-play, which, I mean, it kind of sucks. I mean, I don't understand why they would take those out.
Yeah.
I think it's because mainly they worry about, whether the graphics are too nice or aren't good enough, or certain aspects of the game aren't up to the standards they want it to be, and they're not really putting themselves in the position of the player. They need to be able to look as the player and say, oh, well, this needs to be better, and, how can we make this game more immersive? That's a lot of games. It's not just MMOs, it's FPSs as well, that are doing that same thing, where there are bits of the game that just don't feel right.
Don't feel it. Especially the long-term MMO players, they'll always remember the old days where these new MMOs coming out and not capturing what we used to feel for these games. You know what I mean? That's why we're jumping from MMO to MMO, because it's not captured the sweet spot.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
You're trying to find that one that reminds me of, I remember the time when we did this, and remember that one time in this MMO, and I think that's really what it is. I think that everybody's trying to go back to that, and it's so hard to find.
Yeah.
I think that's what. Sorry, I think that's why everyone after a while goes back to World of Warcraft, because they can capture that moment over and over again.
Yep.
Not as good as the first time, but they'll still be able to redo.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has, that one MMO that they can keep referring back to. Like I know Adam and Welch, and you guys refer back to Darkfall, every now and then, about experiences you had, and I mean that's awesome. And nowadays I'm really like, you're looking at these free-to-play games that are coming out like this year and stuff like that, and they seem to have a lot more quality put into the actual play experience than some of these pay-to-play ones. So I don't know. Me personally, my just personal opinion is that we might see more free-to-plays, or I hope we do, so that way they can worry about the quality instead of worrying about just trying to, like, oh my god, this is going to be pay to play, we have to bring these graphics in, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is I think a lot of companies are focusing way too much on the graphics of stuff, and they don't realize, games like WoW don't have the graphics, but they have the gameplay, and that's the thing.
The graphics, the sound, don't get me wrong. I do like what Star Wars did with the sound, but I think they overemphasized the sound too much, and they lost some of the gameplay in the process. And to me, what's going to keep me in a game is the gameplay.
Yeah.
That's why I bought Skyrim. Oh my god, what wonderful graphics. I hate the gameplay. I'm not playing it because of that. I'm not going to even bother to play it because it frustrates me. DC Universe Online, an MMO. Awesome graphics. You can't, for a superhero game, it's got the best graphics. The interface pisses me off so much, I literally threw my controller across the room with it. You can't have that. I'm going to walk away from that game. And that's where I'm at. The other thing that keeps me in a game, of course, is friends.
And that's a big thing.
And that's the other thing, Star Wars. Okay, I made friends with all these guys that are here in this channel and who are unblacklisted. I've made friends with a lot of them. And that's all great and dandy and everything like that. But I will never have that experience like what I had when I had EverQuest people. My EverQuest guild, which half the guild was from Omaha, which is where I live. And I knew these people. And I game paper and pencil with these people. I did at the time. And that experience, I can't, even though I've got, my little group of friends that play these MMOs with me, I'll never have that kind of experience again, and I know it. So I'm always looking for something like that in that kind of experience.
Yep.
This is kind of as much a promo video for Blacklisted, but because you guys have helped out with that, and that's why I'm sticking around as much as I am. I think when these other games, especially Guild Wars 2 and especially Secret World, because that's the two games we're focusing on now. We have been focusing on Star Wars, and we're still trying, but let's be honest, we've got a guild of 90-plus people, and how many of them are playing Star Wars? 20.
Yep.
And I think that kind of proves the point that people are looking for that MMO to come out and hit the sweet spot on most people. If it hits the sweet spot, then they've got a winner. But right now, no, not one MMO to date has done it.
No.
And that's the point. And to me, that even now with Dark Age of Camelot, if they were to just go and re-release it, in maybe even with the graphics they got now, alright, a lot of people say our graphics old. I will still play, why? Because I know they got content there. I know that the RVR is awesome. I remember the old days, and more importantly, that they know what they're doing with Dark Age. They know what they want, and they're going to keep to it, no matter who's going to tell them how to influence them in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, go on.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I would play it if it was free to play.
Yep.
The fact it's still subscription.
I would say something, but I can't.
I just can't.
I would say something,
I
but
just
I'm not
can't do it.
allowed on here. But
Yeah.
I think Adam knows what I mean by that. There is a way to
I have
play it,
no
but I
clue.
won't say a word.
Right?
Um,
No,
I'm not.
I understand, but what I'm saying though for the general public, if it was free, if it was a free to play issue, if it had moved to free to play by now, I probably would be playing it.
I think a lot of people would still be playing it. If they went free to play, I think a lot of people would go back to it just to remember nostalgia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you
Nostalgia's a
look
lot.
at, you got EverQuest 1 and 2, I believe. I believe the first one went free to play, but I mean, they just
It
pretty much
happened,
recently.
I don't think it has quite yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, so they're pretty much going free to play, after like 7 plus years. I mean, so it's like all these people who basically used to play it, and kind of got out to it for these newer MMOs and stuff. They can now go back to them and be like, oh yeah, and then they can have that those memories back and be like, oh yeah, remember when we did this and this, I mean, you can have that.
Yeah. So basically, to wrap this up, so for Dark Age of Camelot, would you say buy it, try it, or bin it? Stewie. Even though you're
Well,
new to this.
I wasn't here for majority of the thing because my dad came in from work. I'm just gonna say try it.
14-day free trial on the website. There you go.
We have 14-day trial.
Awesome game. I think there's one server left, and that's kind of sad. But it's
Well, after so long, one server is enough then. Dave,
yeah, probably.
buy it, try it, or bin it.
I will try it.
Adam,
Try it.
buy it, try it, bin it.
I'm saying 14-day trial. Hit that thing. See what's going
Yeah, give
on
it a
with
go.
it.
Cosmic, buy it, try it.
Try it. Try it.
We got a 14-day trial, so why not give it a go?
Yeah.
So, yep, same for me. I would say buy it, but that's because it's one of my favorites. I'm being biased on it. So, yeah. Yeah, so there you are, guys, and there's your overwhelming response to Dark Age of Camelot. Try it. So that wraps that up. This is the part of the show where we describe to you what is Laxbike TV. Adam, do you want to give it a go? What is Laxbike TV?
You can follow us at go to lagspike.tv. That's we host shows, as you're seeing now, multiple different shows. Starting some couple new shows up. And so, yeah, there you go. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/lagspike_TV, and also on Facebook, facebook.com/lagspiketv. There you go.
Yep. You can go to www.blacklistgaming.org. I got it right that thing.
Yep. You got it next time.
But
Snap Cosmic.
just for repeating sake, Dave, you can do it as well.
Blacklistedgaming.org, and then also the Twitter is blacklistedtwit.
Yep. That's
You
the
blacklisted twit, you.
I know.
You were a twit.
Aren't I though?
Yep. Those a lovely twit. Yep, so there you are, guys. If you're interested in playing any MMOs that Blacklisted are playing, go say hello, come play, do whatever.
They are playing this game called Zion. It's not on the website yet, but hopefully.
We've got Star Wars: The Old Republic. We're waiting for Guild Wars 2. We're waiting for Secret World, and in the meantime, we're also playing Zion, which is actually xsyon.com. That we downloaded the file and we were foolish enough to buy. And no, I'm just joking. That game is a sandbox game and a sandbox MMO, which means you start with nothing You literally start with nothing, and you build all the way up from your castle. You try to build a castle or whatever you do as a guild, and that's what we're doing right now. And
Start with nothing
it's
and
saving
build everything.
Literally everything.
and try to survive raccoon attacks right at them.
Oh wow.
And Doe says he's preparing to be a
Something
pro
like that.
fisherman.
Rabbits.
And
Rabbits.
preparing to be a pro fisherman. Yep, there we
There
go.
we go.
We definitely need that in our group.
Yep. A lot of fish. You love the fish. Those girls love the fish.
Fishing good.
I know Keeman
Fishing
loves
at
the
its
fish.
best.
Yep. So there you are, guys. Also, follow the channel, guys. You know, peeps. Follow the channel. If you don't, I'd be angry. I know all of us will be very angry.
Don't trust the angry Welshman.
Yeah. Don't want me annoyed, because if I have to manually make you follow, it would not be nice. So,
Trust me, you don't want that.
He'll go get John Barrowman to beat you up.
or I can get Anthony Hawkins to do Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, fuck that.
I could get Christian Bale to do whatever.
Go Batman on your ass,
Batman,
right? Yeah.
Anyway,
Alright.
I said two Welshmen, Christian Bale and Anthony Hopkins. Here we go. So,
But we digress.
yeah, so there you are, guys. Follow the channel. Go to www.lagsmite.tv to see the shows and so forth. And check out Blacklist's website. New theme on it, new website, thanks to Peter Fox. And this has been Explosion View. So this has been a good night. What do you think, guys? Good night for you. You enjoy it?
Excellent night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on a little bit of Zion here later
Oh
on.
yeah.
And I'm
Hunting
gonna get
parties.
killed.
Hunting
I'm gonna
parties.
get killed.
And you need to broadcast it. You need to broadcast
Oh,
it.
we do. We need to do this hunting party because I think we got a lot of the Zion people wanting to see more.
They
Yes.
were raging this week. Like,
They were
where is
raging.
Zion?
Where is
at?
it?
Yep, we had that
But-
during our Halo 2 cast last night, so...
And yeah, sorry about that, guys. My internet wasn't worth a crap to even like do anything with because I didn't even do the relationship show. And calls, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, and we're not connected. Oh, and we're not. We're connected. No, we're not connected. So yeah, absolutely horrible. So I just went to bed. I said, hell with it. I don't have the internet. I don't care. I'm going to bed.
So there you are, then, guys. So basically, stay tuned. We might see Zion appear on here shortly, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. But stay tuned anyway. If you just follow the channel, you'll find out. Because you'll have
Exactly.
yourself emailed and then so forth.
Or go through Facebook, Twitter,
Yeah.
hit that up. It's always
Yeah.
updated.
And soon, through the website.
Or you can romance Doe and romance Adam at the same time. Hopefully they can give you sneak peeks to all this.
Nah.
I'm kind of worried about the sneak peeks. Ooh,
We'll leave that to the Welsh.
that'd be a comedy. We don't do a comedy show. I'm just saying. I mean, sneak peeks. That would be a comedy show for
That
all
would
you
be
out there.
sneak peeks there.
I'm just
Tell you what I'd
saying.
love to have a sneak peek of, though. She's not on the channel.
Zion. Zion.
Alrighty.
Right, so there we are, guys. That's it tonight. So, whip it out, is it, though? Yeah.
Oh man.
So, we will all see you all next week. Same
Au
time.
revoir.
Same time, same place, same website, same part of the world for everybody else, I hope. That's if the world doesn't end by then, but 2012, you never know.
December. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. We got time yet. So see you all
You got
next
time to
week.
play all the MMOs you want. It's
Yeah.
December. Don't worry.
Maybe only like 4 months worth for Guild Wars 2 when that comes out. Or if it comes out in time for it.
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. See you all next week.